All right, good afternoon. Welcome. This is our afternoon press briefing on the recovery from Hurricane Hermine. My name is Kevin Peters, Emergency Management Director for Leon County, Florida. Just to review some of the storm stats, last night at 1:30 a.m., Hurricane Hermine made landfall on the Florida coast at St. Mark's. We saw sustained wind speeds around 50 miles per hour with gusts up to 65 in Leon County. The rainfall total from Hermine was 4 to 5 inches across the county. The impact was very much wind related. We avoided any flooding of any significance from the event. We've had trees and power lines down throughout our community. We are focused on disaster recovery at this phase. And to highlight some of the progress we've made in our initial recovery steps, we have some speakers this afternoon that will give you updates. And first off, I'd like to introduce Sheriff Mike Wood with our public safety update.
Come on, Kevin. Thank you. Thank you very much. As Kevin said, from the onset of this event, we have increased by more than double the police department and the sheriff's office staffing on the streets of Tallahassee. We're going to continue that throughout the night and for the coming days. Just to ensure that we're able to continue to do that, we have also coordinated with the state EOC in anticipation of a need of perhaps more officers. So there will be no potential of us not being able to staff accordingly given the circumstances we're under. Since yesterday, the CDA has received 5,000 calls for service. Approximately 1,500 of those calls were 911 calls. The CDA has functioned without issue, and we have answered all of our priority one calls without delay. The only delays we incurred were in the height of the storm, and we don't anticipate any delays going forward as it relates to that. One of the issues that we face as a community is our traffic signals are not restored at this juncture. So while we advocate that you stay home and do not travel unless it's absolutely necessary, we realize that folks are going to travel. And so our message is simply, please observe speed limits, be patient, and when you come to intersections where the equipment is not functioning, it's a four-way stop. And once again, in some of the larger intersections, that can be very confusing to the motorist. So we just ask that you be patient and be considerate of each other until we get these intersections operational. Many of our roads are still blocked with downed trees, and our public service organizations with the city and the county are working towards clearing those roads for travel. But in the meantime, probably the best idea and our best advice to you is to please minimize travel and absolutely stay home whenever possible. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Andrew Gillum.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sheriff, and thank you also for your leadership. As we said in our earlier update, this was a substantial storm event for our community. Our citizens, and more specifically, our electric utility system took a major blow yesterday. We reported that roughly 80% of the electric utility was impacted in some way by this storm, taking out for city customers, about 70,000 of them, and for Talquin Electric customers, our total outage was just around 100,000 customers. We've made some marginal gains in getting folks back onto the system, but most of our assets have had to do with addressing the hazards of live wires in our community to make sure that folks remain safe. And also the difficult work of dealing with some of the larger infrastructure transmission issues with the electric utility. After daybreak today, our team within the Tallahassee Electric Department was able to go out. They flew over by air and also by land to observe exactly what the extent of the damage was to our system. And unfortunately, I have to report that the damage was in fact pretty substantial. And because of the substantial nature of that damage, we want to inform the public that we are estimating that restoration, about 90% restoration, may take up to a week here in the city of Tallahassee. That is longer than we initially said this morning. We said a couple of days. and want to try to provide a little bit of sequencing of prioritization. First, we should mention that our hospitals are up, but they are up on generation using generation power and generators. Our eastern transmission line is our next highest priority, which once restored and those lines along that route are restored, it'll bring a major chunk of customers back online. Then we'll go to large circuits to have those reinitiated, and that too, once brought online, those circuits will bring several thousand customers back into service. We then plan to stimulate areas of commerce where we have major department stores, not to specifically call any out, but those that would help individual residents assist in their own home recovery process, the Lowe's, the Home Depot. Obviously, we've already seen that Public Supermarket is up using generators, but we want to bring more of those commerce centers online so that people have access to food and water and other important supplies. And then we will focus on our residential areas, particularly those residential areas that are more remote in nature. Those are the ones that we believe will be, unfortunately, toward the latter end of the priority as we move through some of those higher priority areas. City utility customers will have access to clean water. There was no disruption in the supply of water to our customers. We will have access to a shelter again this evening at Florida High. That shelter will not only meet the needs of those who are medically needy, but it will also have capacity to serve the general public. So for those who are in neighborhoods, in residences that feel that this evening they may want to find themselves in a cooler environment and a safe environment, we do want to direct them to gain access to Florida High. For those who need transportation or any other non-emergency provisions, we are asking that you all call Big Ben 411. And on your rotary phone or on your cell device, that's simply dial 411. And there'll be operators on the other end to assist you. You'll hear this more from the county, but the county will also be opening a cooling station that will serve the general public, and County Administrator Vince Long, who will come next, will give more information on that. We also want to thank the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, who has offered to assist us in bringing our intersections, our stoplights, back online. They have offered more than 200 generators, remote generators, that are being installed both by City of Tallahassee utility customers, workers, as well as by workers at the Florida Department of Transportation. Crews are going to assist with traffic signalization. And again, debris removal is ongoing and roads are being cleaned up rapidly, but we're still asking people to take extreme precaution, not crossing live wires, obviously, to the extent that they still exist. And there still may be downed trees, particularly on our lesser roads. We ask that you remain safe, that you remain cautious. This is not news that we want to deliver, but it is news indeed. And it's important news for our customers, and we're asking you all to be as patient as you can with the process, that we've got over 1,000 employees and volunteers that are working literally around the clock to make sure that we meet the needs of our citizens. With that, I want to yield the microphone to the County Administrator for additional updates.
Well, thank you, Mayor. The mayor spoke to the City of Tallahassee's utilities being restored over the next 4 or 5 days. I wanted to note for uninsured or unincorporated area residents who may not be customers of the City of Tallahassee, that the time frame very closely mirrors that of the city. Talquin Electric Cooperative informs us that they expect power to be restored to 95% of their customers over the next 4 to 5 days. As the mayor noted, we will be opening a cooling station or a comfort station at the main library, the downtown location of the main library. That will be opening tomorrow and will operate from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. For those citizens who need to get out of the heat and get some rest. and water. We will also be distributing 75,000 bottles of water in cooperation with the state of Florida. We'll be doing that in the rural areas of the county. We'll have about 5 locations expected to correspond with our community centers, but we'll be announcing the specifics on that tomorrow. Also, the American Red Cross, as the mayor noted, will continue operations at Florida High of the special needs shelter, in addition to being able to accommodate the general population there, again, as the mayor noted. As we continue to recover and lights are turned back on, please operate generators responsibly and be responsible with other light sources like candles. Please stay hydrated. Please know that while you still may have trouble navigating county roads, that we have crews that are dedicated and will continue to work around the clock to clear those roads. We've prioritized major arterials and connectors. And again, we've got people working around the clock to do that. Be safe. And with that, I will hand it back to Kevin Peters, our Emergency Management Director. Thank you.
All right. I just wanted to, highlight the teamwork efforts we have between the City of Tallahassee and Leon County. These efforts will continue through the full recovery process. We also give thanks to our friends and partners at the Florida Division of Emergency Management and Florida Department of Transportation for all their assistance. I'd just like to remind everyone, for further information and resources, you can visit leoncountyfl.gov/EI or talgov.com on the internet for updates. For information resources or assistance for human services response, again, 211 Big Bend is the number to dial. Remember, citizens, please be safe as you travel through the community this evening. Without power lights, without our traffic lights and street lights this evening, we'd urge everyone to continue. The message we've been given is to stay off the roads if you do not have to be out. Take time to avoid being out in the community tonight. Let our crews continue any cleanup activities we're going through tonight. And, tomorrow morning after sunrise, we hope to have much safer conditions as we all look forward to a weekend following Hermine. With that concludes our press briefing.